Am I worthy? How will I know? Maybe I should just keep praying.
People are returning to Appalachia for many different reasons. Some for treasure, some for a fresh start, and some for a higher power. The cultists are not a new group in Appalachia. We found remnants of them before people ever returned to the region. In fact, I made a whole video on the cultists and followers of Mothman. With the return of people to Appalachia, the Mothman cultists have repopulated their past haunts. In this video, we're going to explore the motivation behind this unique religious persuasion and see if we can be enlightened by the Lord and Savior, Mothman. Along the banks of the Ohio River, we can find the Kanawha County Cemetery. Looking over the perimeter wall, we can see that the cemetery is empty. Depending on what time you arrive at this location, you can be met with cultists or a variety of insects. For now, though, it is empty. We will see why here in a second. Approaching the main church house, we can see that the cultists have been busy since they moved in, adding quite the addition to the upper part of this church. Again, we will see why they do this here in a bit. Moving closer to the church, we can hear a voice coming from inside.
Am I worthy? How will I know? Maybe I should just keep praying.
Mothman, hear my prayer. Keep us safe from the dangers of beast and man.
So it looks like they were looking to Mothman for protection. Moving into the church from the front entrance, we can crouch to utilize our Chinese stealth suit that we got in our last video. Inside of the church, we see a uncomfortable sight. I count 10 cultists on their knees, offering prayers to a constructed Mothman deity, with one more that looks to be standing over them all, possibly leading the congregation. We can now listen to hear what they have to say.
Wise and holy Mothman, watch over us in our time of trials.
O great Mothman, look upon your subjects with mercy and
He
protect
is our
them
shepherd,
from harm.
guiding us through the darkness to his divine light.
Moving towards the altar as I was trying to get a shot of the cultists from the front, they sensed my presence. Nothing a single plasma grenade can't handle. Now that the cultists are taken care of, we can take a better look at this construct. It looks like it's made out of antler, bone, and rock. Obviously, the two eyes are piercing red to imitate the Mothman. Up on the altar, we can see a bench where we can find rat poison and wine bottles. You have to wonder if they were planning on poisoning themselves, like we have seen in so many other cults in the modern era. Next to this bench, we can find a note labeled Sermon Notes. Listen, my followers, I call you not believers, but followers. For we are no longer believers, but followers in these new beginnings. Open your eyes, open your ears, and open your hearts. Have you not heard from all of the new inhabitants of Appalachia? The sightings are real. The encounters are true. We offer the gift of the woods. As we build and expand, we will grow closer to him, away from the plights of man. Look above. We will grow out to him. He is out there. He will come, and we will be there. So this is kind of an obscure note, but it does sound like the cult of the Mothman is actively trying to recruit new people into the cult, saying that they offer the gift of the woods, and they're looking to build and expand. Moving into the upper part of the church, we can find another unsettling scene. We haven't seen human sacrifice in any other cultists' camps, so I'm not exactly sure what is going on here. This could be a cultist. We have seen many mass suicides and a willingness to die for Mothman. Or it could be a non-believer that was captured. We can't really know. On a desk just opposite of this display, we can find the Kanawha Mausoleum key sitting on top of a letter labeled Letter. Roland. The group has returned to the Kanawha Church in search of Dr. Wallace. We believe the mausoleum in the graveyard contains his remains. He is a famous entomologist who might hold the answers to all of our questions. We have been unsuccessful in finding his thesis paper he wrote while studying moths in the region. It is possible that it might be buried with his belongings. I know it's a long shot, but it might be the key. I would like to come to one of your sermons and check out the church. We also have a stash of eggs on the premises. We have been hoarding them and bringing them up to the church, hoping he will come. Having you as a guest will really help expand our reach. So before we head up to the nest at the top of this church, we can head back to the cemetery and see if we can find the final resting place of Dr. Wallace. On the opposite side of the cemetery, we can find a small mausoleum that is locked with a gate. Using the mausoleum key, we can open the gate. Inside, we don't find much, which is especially weird because they said that this was the final resting place of Dr. Wallace. But like I said, there's nothing to be found here. But according to the wiki, there is a cut note in the game files labeled Supplies to Open Tomb. It reads, Supplies needed to open tomb. Crowbar, pickaxe, acid. Absolutely no explosives. So potentially at one point, there was a plan to let the player into this tomb. Maybe in a future update, we will be able to access this tomb and find Dr. Wallace and his thesis. It would certainly give a bunch of backstory on the Mothman, its origins, and its motives. Heading back to the church, we can hear voices coming from the roof, so climbing this makeshift ramp, we can engage the last of the cultists.
I ascend.
Looking around up here, we can find 2 troughs of blood and an outrigger that extends to nothing. At first, this just seems like a spot they may have used as a lookout point, but extensions like this can be found at almost all cultist camps, suggesting that they are for more than just surveying the area. Heading just north of Camp Venture, we can find another cultist camp, but this time we can spot something special. Sitting on top of this location's outrigger, we can spot a glowing Mothman being worshipped by a single cultist. After clearing the camp of all other cultists, we can go inspect the pair. There's a few interesting things about this. If disturbed, the Mothman will fight on the side of the cultists. This does suggest that the Mothman and the cultists do have some sort of connection, and further suggests that Mothman doesn't always have to be hostile. There are several other cultist camps dotted around the map. Southeast of Watoga, we can find Johnson's Acre, where we can find another well-defended cultist camp. Moving down the rocks to the middle of the camp, concealed by the Chinese stealth suit, we can grab a holotape labeled Chapter 7. I'm unsure why this is called Chapter 7, because chapters 1 through 6 of these holotapes do not exist. Anyway, here is Chapter 7.
Chapter 7. Constructing the effigy. Gather 10 to 20 bundles of sticks underneath the new moon. Bind them tightly with the entrails of the sacrificial beast and cleanse and bless your tools with holy incense. Construct the form of your effigy with the bundles using straw or twine. Fix them into position. Plant a staff of hewn oak down the center of the effigy. Hammer the staff firmly into the dirt. Pile more sticks, logs, and wood scraps around the base. Anoint your sacred blade with the holy oil made from the Bright One's eggs. Use your blade to bless the effigy for use in your circle.
Chapter 7 gives detailed instructions on how to build one of these effigies that we see scattered around all of the cultist camps. It's kind of strange that you have to douse them in Mothman egg juice. It seems like that would anger Mothman, if anything. Now heading to another cultist camp. This time we can travel north of the Cranberry Bog to Blake's Offering. After defeating the garrison cultists, we can find the Chapter 8 holotape. Unfortunately, this is the last of the holotapes. All we get is Chapter 7 and Chapter 8.
Chapter 8. Summoning Rite. The night of a full moon. Gather your fellows and sit around the effigy. Light the pyre. Have all recite the following incantation as one. Oh, Bright One, we bid thee, follow this sacred flame with thy ever-watchful eyes. See clear as day, this holy fire we burn in your honor like cattle to slaughter. We die for thee. Bid us welcome as we beckon thee with this divine lamp, that we may be blessed by the air underneath thy wings.
This chapter lays out the process of summoning Mothman. To expand on this holotape, we can find a note labeled Beckon the Call in one of the cultists' tents. Bright-winged one sleeps beneath the earth. The silent watching one sleeps beneath the sea. When rivers turn red and sun turns cold, when beast is sacrificed, when stars fall on the land, and the air turns to poison, when judgment day arrives, the Great One awakens, and will demand all pay a price to beckon in a new world. It's pretty hard to come to solid conclusions about this note, but it seems to me that the note is saying that the nukes woke Mothman, and somehow the Mothman is going to lead society into a new era. What do you guys think of this note? Finally, heading to the Clancy Manor, we can once again find that the cultists have completely transformed this location. Entering the manor, it looks like someone was here before us, seeing that all of the cultists are dead. In a large communal bedroom filled with Mothman eggs, we can find the Cultist Redemption holotape.
Yellow covered the sky. Poison filled the air. Close your eyes and take a deep breath. Allow him to look inside your soul. Desire. I know it's forbidden. He promised to wash it all away. He promised that he will return. Take me. I am yours.
Again, this holotape seems mostly like a bunch of cultist nonsense. He does make a reference that indicates that he's talking about the nukes again, but I can't find any further meaning behind this. If you have any thoughts on what the Mothman cultists are trying to convey in this mysterious recordings or notes, make sure to share your opinions down in the comments below. Alright guys, that's all I have on the Mothman cultists for now. I fully expect to be making a second part to this video, because there's a lot here that still doesn't make any sense. Anyway, I hope everybody enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe. It really does help out the channel. Also consider following me on Twitter. It's the best place you can get in contact with me. But anyway, this has been Widgeon TV. Thanks for watching, guys.